Hello. So we have a friend at our space, and this is Gabriela,
Hello.
board certified sex therapist local here in our 305. She also works on relationships, and those of you that have a brand new baby, you may want to go see Gabriela because, she helps you get your groove back on. You know what I mean? Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about teens. And, Gabriela took me out to lunch one day and we were talking, and she gave me some stories about her experiences in local high schools and how she does a wonderful sex talk for local high schools. So that's something else that we can know about Gabriela and that you can call her for. And she told me, different questions that these teenagers ask. So I thought it would be great for parents to hear about the top three.
The top three. Yes.
The top three questions that primarily get asked when she is in front of teenagers, and teenagers in high school are between 15 and 18 years old,
Yes.
and what she gets and what she responds. So here we go.
Yes. So the top three. So the first one, so you may want to sit down because you may be thinking, okay, I pretty much know what teens are going to be asking, but you may be a little surprised. So the number one thing I get asked when I go teach comprehensive sexual health in high schools is anal sex. Yes. They ask whether they're in a freshman, sophomore, junior, some seniors, but they all ask in each grade level.
So 15, 16, 17,
And 8. They ask. They ask every single year, pretty much in every single class, across the board. So this is the reason why they ask this question. Because many of them believe that, okay, anal sex, I cannot get pregnant, which is true. You cannot get pregnant with anal sex. However, many of them don't know, and I let them know you can still, however, transmit sexually transmitted diseases or STIs, STDs, whatever term you use. So if you're going to engage in anal sex, you do still need to use protection. And many of them are like, okay, yes, that makes sense. And many of them are like, oh, I did not know this. This is very good information. The second reason why they asked me this question is because many of them ask me, so if I perform anal sex, does that mean I'm still a virgin? Which is a little bit more complicated of an answer because depending on what your personal definition is of virginity is going to basically answer that question. So that is going to involve what your religious beliefs are, what your family beliefs are, all of that. So it can be actually a yes answer. Yes, you'll still be a virgin. And it could be a no answer. So they have to kind of see where it is in their belief system that falls under.
And you say something very important as it pertains to you as parents. When you discuss with them about sexuality, this is a good cue for you and good information to know that one of the things that you need to speak to them about is defining what in your family means virginity.
Yes, because it can be very different across the board through religious beliefs, country of origin. We live in South Florida. We have a population that's extremely diverse, and not every place has the same cultural definition of sex, intimacy, virginity, non-virginity. So it's a very in-depth definition. So whatever it is in your family, that's something that is a great topic to talk to them about, because you may have one definition because of your country of origin, the time in which you grew up as a teenager, which can be different nowadays. So that can play a big part of it. So those are the two main reasons why I get that question regarding anal sex. Teenagers know about anal sex. They've heard about anal sex. If they have access to the internet, you can be sure they know about anal sex.
And in this phase of their development, and there's a heightened sense of the development of the prefrontal cortex and the higher regions of the brain. So this idea of problem solving, because I'm interested in sex, but I still want to stay a virgin, and I don't want to get pregnant. So this is how they come up with the idea of perhaps anal sex as an option. So what's the other popular question?
So the other popular question, especially being as that we're here in South Florida, they will it's number 2 question, but it's kind of 2 and 3 together. So we'll just call it question 2 and 3 because they go simultaneously. They'll ask me about the morning after pill, and they will also ask me about abortion services here in Miami-Dade County, Broward County area. So when they ask me about the morning after pill, they ask me questions like, how can I get it? Do I need a prescription for it? Can I get it without my parents knowing? Can I get it without having to go to my primary care doctor? Things like that. Normally I get that question from sophomores and juniors. Not so much freshmen, and I don't get that question so much seniors, because seniors pretty much already know the answer to those questions. And then the other part of the question would be abortion services here in Miami-Dade County. Does my parent have to know? Can I go by myself? How long after I find out I get pregnant can I get an abortion? They'll ask me all of those questions as well in regards to that. So those are pretty much the top 3 questions. I don't get a whole lot of questions regarding the developmental or the physical changes because they normally get that type of education already in middle school. So they're asking more questions of sexual health in the sense of virginity, condoms, morning after pills, female condoms, dental dam, oral sex. So they're asking more of once I'm already doing it type of questions.
Correct. And that makes sense because in this age group, they are figuring out who am I, who do I want to be, and part of that is sexuality, natural human sexuality, and through their developmental markers is for them to begin to explore that aspect of it. So these questions show us that they are particulars on things that they're thinking about.
Yes.
Virginity and what if I get pregnant.
Yeah.
And, I would say as you're hearing this is not to scare you as a parent, but to know that this is something that you can discuss with them. Not so much in the sense of like, are you having sex? But more in the sense of, okay, if and when you have sex, let me tell you what I think about virginity. Let me tell you what I think of what we would do if you got pregnant. And this should be an open discussion. Statistics show that the more you speak about sex, the more responsible they are about sex. It's not the opposite. You're not putting the idea in their head. It's already there.
It is definitely already there. As well as hearing these questions now can already get you in the frame of mind of, I may be asked this question, so it's not going to be a surprise to you anymore. You actually have tools already like, okay, I'm getting the question, I know how to handle this. It's fantastic. So you're empowering yourself to be able to have an open conversation with your child without being like, oh my God, they asked me the question, what am I going to do? So you already got it, so you got it down.
So go to it. Go talk to your teen about sex. You can.
Yes.